Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most controversial and enigmatic conspiracy theories out there, the HAARP project in Alaska. Is it really just a harmless ionospheric research facility? Or could there be darker secrets hidden in its massive antenna arrays? Sit back, grab some snacks, and prepare for a journey into the unknown. If you've browsed online conspiracy forums or YouTube's mysterious corners, you've likely heard whispers about something called HAARP, the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Officially, it's a joint project of the US Air Force, the US Navy, and the University of Alaska Fairbanks, focused on studying the behavior of the ionosphere. But that hasn't stopped theorists from linking HAARP to secret military tests, global weather manipulation, mind control experiments, you name it. The facility's remote location in Gakona, Alaska, along with the array of towering radio antennae, looks straight out of a science fiction film. Add in government funding and Cold War-era secrecy, and you have a recipe for all kinds of speculation. In this video, we'll explore the major conspiracies surrounding HAARP, where they come from, what evidence believers point to, and how skeptics respond. By the end, you might find yourself questioning whether the truth is stranger than fiction, or whether the simplest explanation is still the best one. HAARP Basics, what we do know. Before we dive into the wild stuff, let's clarify what HAARP is, at least in official terms. The project began in the early 1990s, primarily funded by the US Air Force and the US Navy. Researchers built a field of high-powered radio transmitters and antennae designed to heat portions of the ionosphere, the layer of Earth's atmosphere about 60 to 600 miles above the surface. Why heat the ionosphere? Scientists want to see how charged particles behave under different conditions. This research could improve radio communication, navigation systems, and our understanding of space weather. HAARP's main instrument is the Ionospheric Research Instrument, or IRI, which sends controlled radio frequency bursts into the ionosphere. By analyzing how the waves bounce back, researchers learn more about the ionosphere's properties. The facility has changed hands over time. The US Air Force officially ended its involvement around 2014, transferring operations to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Today, UAF runs HAARP as an open-access research facility, at least on paper. Public open houses have allowed curious visitors to tour the site. Some say that's just a PR move to quell suspicions. Weather control, the most popular theory. One of the most enduring conspiracies about HAARP is that it's a weather manipulation device. According to many conspiracy sites, the high-powered radio frequencies can move or destabilize the jet stream, create or steer storms, and even trigger earthquakes by heating pockets of the atmosphere or crust. Some go so far as to claim that events like Hurricane Katrina or unusual tornado patterns have been artificially amplified by HAARP experiments. The idea goes like this. If you can control the ionosphere, you can potentially alter global weather patterns. That could be weaponized. Imagine deploying storms against an enemy nation or engineering droughts in key agricultural areas. Believers point to patents held by defense contractors describing weather modification technology, suggesting HAARP is the real-world implementation of those ideas. Official statements from scientists connected with HAARP emphasize that the energy levels used are nowhere near powerful enough to affect large-scale weather systems. They say the experiments are short-term and localized, making global manipulation impossible. Skeptics also note that extreme weather has been occurring for centuries, long before HAARP ever existed. Still, the notion that governments might want to control the weather isn't entirely far-fetched. Historically, attempts at cloud seeding have been around since the mid-20th century. So, could HAARP be the next step? That remains a subject of intense debate in certain corners of the internet. Mind control and psychotronic warfare. Another theory suggests that HAARP isn't just about the skies. Some believe it could also target our minds. The term psychotronic warfare pops up in these discussions, implying that HAARP signals can influence human thought patterns, possibly controlling behavior on a massive scale. Proponents say HAARP can emit extremely low frequency waves that match the human brain's natural frequencies, thereby entraining our minds to specific states. Some conspiracists argue that if these signals were directed at populated areas, governments could induce everything from mass calm to mass panic. It might sound far-fetched, but the US military has a history of exploring non-lethal weapons and psychological operations. Declassified documents from decades past detail bizarre research into mind-altering substances, like in Project MK Ultra, and using infrasound or microwave technology for crowd control. Conspiracy theorists say HAARP is just a more advanced iteration of these experiments, a direct line from the Cold War era to modern-day electromagnetic mind control. Critics of the mind control hypothesis point out there's no publicly known technology capable of precisely controlling thousands or millions of individuals via radio waves in such a targeted manner. Moreover, ALF waves that do exist naturally in the environment, like from lightning, have never been shown to orchestrate mass mental influence. The mind control angle may be more science fiction than science fact, but it persists online nonetheless. Earthquake and volcano trigger theories. Some conspiracists take HAARP's alleged abilities even further, linking it to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The argument is that by sending powerful radio frequencies into the ground or altering atmospheric pressure in tectonically sensitive zones, HAARP can trigger seismic events. A notable claim emerged around the 2010 Haiti earthquake and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake in Japan. Conspiracy forums lit up with speculation that these catastrophic events were artificially induced. People pointed to strange aurora-like lights in the sky shortly before the quakes, sometimes known as earthquake lights, a natural phenomenon that can occur due to electromagnetic disruptions in tectonic plates. However, in the eyes of believers, those lights were evidence that HAARP was in operation. Geophysicists counter that the amount of energy required to move tectonic plates is vastly beyond HAARP's capacity. They note that the facility's maximum power output is minuscule relative to the Earth's crust dynamics. Nonetheless, conspiracy channels regularly highlight any unusual meteorological or geological event, asking if HAARP was involved. Whether these claims hold water depends on how willing you are to trust official scientific statements versus suspecting deeper government secrecy. To date, no concrete evidence has emerged to prove quake manipulation, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. Russian and Chinese accusations. Interestingly, conspiracy theories about HAARP aren't confined to American internet corners. Over the years, media outlets and political figures in Russia and China have also voiced suspicions about the facility. Some have claimed that HAARP-type systems could be used as geophysical weapons, capable of destabilizing entire regions. In 2002, the Russian State Duma publicly discussed HAARP as a potential new weapon. Their statement linked it to everything from climate warfare to global mind control. While much of that discussion was rooted in mistrust of US military intentions, it mirrored the conspiratorial tone found on Western forums. Of course, there's a strong element of geopolitics at play. During times of heightened tension, governments may fan the flames of rumors about the other side's secret weapons. Some defense analysts suggest that if a high-tech program can't be fully understood from the outside, rival nations might label it a threat for political leverage. Suspicious foreign commentary doesn't automatically validate conspiracy claims. It might just reflect long-standing rivalries, the role of media, misinformation, and partial disclosures. HAARP has achieved near-legendary status online, partly due to media coverage that sometimes sensationalizes legitimate research. Tabloid newspapers, late-night radio shows, and viral YouTube videos have all contributed to its mystique. When local weather patterns become extreme, a subset of social media users inevitably asks, "Is HAARP doing this?" The gap between public understanding and technical explanations also fuels these theories. The science behind ionospheric research can be complex, involving plasma physics and electromagnetic wave propagation. To many, it's easier and more exciting to suspect clandestine operations than to parse dense scientific jargon. We also can't ignore the history of government secrecy. Projects like the Manhattan Project and MK Ultra were hidden from public view for years, so it's not entirely irrational for people to question whether HAARP might be another classified program in disguise. A handful of partially declassified documents have only added to the speculation. The question remains, where do we draw the line between legitimate public oversight and leaps of conjecture, official denials and facility tours? In an effort to dispel rumors, officials connected to HAARP have opened the site to public tours on multiple occasions. Journalists, amateur radio enthusiasts, and curious citizens have taken photos, asked questions, and seen the research equipment up close. The message from HAARP staff is consistent. There's no cloak and dagger agenda here. We're just studying how radio waves interact with the ionosphere. Scientists from the University of Alaska Fairbanks argue that the power levels used in experiments are too low to cause large-scale atmospheric changes, let alone manipulate mines or trigger earthquakes. They emphasize that data and research papers stemming from HAARP experiments are openly published in scientific journals, which would be unusual if the project were top secret. Yet, skeptics say that open houses could be staged, that only part of the facility is shown to the public, or that real operations occur at undisclosed times. In the realm of conspiracy theory, official denials often serve as further proof that something is being hidden. After all, if there's a conspiracy, wouldn't the conspirators deny it? Could it be real, balancing the possibilities? Now comes the big question. Could there be even a grain of truth to these conspiracies? History teaches us that governments and militaries do conduct experiments beyond public knowledge. Large-scale scientific facilities often serve dual purposes, civilian on the surface, strategic behind closed doors. At the same time, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and the proof offered by HAARP conspiracy proponents tends to be anecdotal, circumstantial, or based on misinterpretations of scientific documents. Weather events are complex, and earthquake lights can occur naturally. Mind control at a population scale is unsubstantiated in credible scientific literature. Perhaps HAARP is a testament to how easily speculation can fill knowledge gaps. Or maybe there's more to it than meets the eye, carefully concealed under layers of bureaucracy. The verdict is yours to decide. So there you have it, the HAARP conspiracy in a nutshell. Is it a top-secret weather control and mind manipulation weapon, or just a misunderstood research project studying the upper atmosphere? While mainstream science dismisses the grandiose claims, theories persist, fueled by secrecy, historical precedent, and the human desire for hidden truths. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most enduring conspiracy theories out there. Let us know in the comments, what do you think is really happening at HAARP? Have you found evidence that might settle the debate once and for all, or do you remain a healthy skeptic? If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more mystery, intrigue, and uncovered secrets on the way. Until next time, stay curious, question everything, and keep searching for answers, no matter where they lead.